Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Jonah. I'm from Spotlight, and today we're going to be talking to Sarah. Sarah, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
I am doing so good and super excited to be here. I just one of my copywriters forced me to move all my planning over to Airtable, but I'm total trash at it. So I am invested in this event, super excited
Yeah.
to dive in. And for everyone watching, please hop in the comments if you're here. Let us know where you're tuning in from, something you're excited to learn. I do want to call out Poddex was first. You get the credit.
Yeah.
But also, feel free to call out where you heard about Sarah, where you heard about Spotlight, any of those things. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, pop them in the comments. If we don't answer them right away, we're not ignoring you. We have set aside time after Sarah's presentation to answer as many of those questions as we can. So also, if it seems like we missed your question from earlier when we're in the Q&A, pop it in again. We'll do our best to get to all of those questions. And if life is moving fast around you, you have to get away from the computer, you want to review any of the things we go over today, don't fret. All of this will be available in a replay. It'll be on the Spotlight page, it'll be on YouTube, and it'll also be emailed to you along with the replay and the course offer, which we'll talk about a little later. And I do just want to call out a few people here. We got people tuning in from Vancouver, from Vermont, from Alberta, from Canada. Poddex is saying you're a boss, Sarah. From Arizona. Thank you all so much for being here. It's such a blast. And just to make sure that everyone is in the right place, today we are talking about how to plan a month of content in one day. And you're going to learn how to choose content topics that create engagement and set up a simple system to plan content for all of your platforms in one spot. Sarah, I'm not the expert and I've said my piece. So I want to get out of the way, hand it over to you, and we can dive in.
Yeah, thank you. Y'all, I'm so excited you're here today. Content planning is a pain in the butt. Let's just be honest. That's why you're here today, because either you haven't got a content plan yet, and so every time you see other people showing up on Instagram or on TikTok or on YouTube, you're like, I should do that. I need to do that. I should have already done that. Or maybe you're feeling like I'm making content, I'm showing up, nothing is happening. Maybe there's nobody responding, nobody is sharing your stuff, nobody is commenting on it. So today I'm going to help you create a content plan. And not only that's going to be really simple so that you have time to do this stuff during your week, where you have probably clients or customers that you're trying to help, where you are trying to run your own business, where you're trying to do life. Maybe some of you still are going to a 9 to 5 and you're side hustling. And so you have even less time for this stuff. So my hope for today is that you're going to feel really excited and good about what you're going to share with your audience to turn them into clients and customers, and your system so that it actually fits into your week and you don't feel like all you're doing is planning Instagram posts, because that's usually what it comes down to. So let me see. Do I know how to do this? How do I work my slides? There we go. Okay, so today, like I said, you're going to learn how to choose topics that create engagement and get to the heart of what your ideal clients and customers want. What do they need to hear before they're going to hand you their money? Remember, we're all strangers on the internet. It doesn't feel like that, but we really are. You're asking a total stranger to trust you and send you money. And so you really got to understand what they need to hear in order to do that. We're also going to talk about setting up a content planning system in Airtable. I'm going to show you my actual content planning system so that you can see everything behind the scenes. We're going to talk about organizing your content from all of your platforms in one spot. So for me, this is blog posts, emails, Instagram, multiple types of Instagram posts, and then also podcast episodes. Everything. If you have YouTube, if you're doing TikTok, if you're doing Pinterest, you can put everything in one spot. And then you're going to learn how to set up one calendar so that you are able to batch your posts ahead of time. No more day before day of, oh crap, what am I going to post? You're going to be able to show up consistently, and you are going to see results from the content you are sharing. Yes, I want you to get clients and customers out of this stuff. So just in case we haven't met before, I'm Sarah. I have been building, designing, writing, selling, creating online for over 20 years. I left my corporate job 10 years ago in May. So I'm hitting my 10-year freelance self-employed milestone, which is crazy and really exciting. I have done online courses. I started out as a web designer, and then I ended up kind of handing off websites and realizing that people didn't know how to market themselves. They didn't know how to do blog posts. They didn't know what to do with their email list, even though they were collecting emails. Maybe some of you guys are doing that. You're taking the emails in, but you're not sending anything out. They didn't know what to do with their Instagram or YouTube or their Facebook. And so I started creating educational content so that they could actually use their beautiful website and get clients and customers with it. And now I run a membership with all of my social media, email, systems, processes, mindset, branding, everything in one spot so that I can do coaching, and I run a really amazing community over there as well. So now all my stuff is in one spot and I just run the one big program. So the reason I'm so excited that you guys are here today is because content planning, like planning in advance, not just planning the one post you're about to put up, but planning a whole month or a whole quarter at a time, you're more likely to follow through and actually show up and do that stuff, do the work, create the reels, create the videos, and then publish the content if you actually have a plan and a system in place. It also helps to keep your message consistent across the platform so that you're not kind of doing one thing on YouTube and one thing on Instagram and one thing on your Facebook. It's going to be consistent so that no matter where people are finding you, some people are only going to show up on Instagram. Some people are only going to be on your email list, or they're only going to listen to your podcast. So we need to make sure that all of those things are doing the same job, getting people into your programs or into your services. And then it's going to help you show up more consistently and turn your followers into subscribers, and then hopefully into customers and clients. So if this sounds like something you need, say yes in the chat. Give me a yes. I want to see some action here, because otherwise I just feel like I'm hanging out in my apartment talking to myself or my dog, but she's sleeping. So let me see some yeses in the comments if you guys are ready for this, if this sounds like what you need, if you're ready to show up and post some content. Yes, 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 yes. Good. Haley, Matthew, Debbie, Joanne, trucking and safety client compliance. Ooh, that disappeared really fast. Education, Stampin' with Eva, Empower Lines, Lisa. Yes, yes, yes. All right. I'm glad you're paying attention. So here's what we do most of the time. We try to come up with content ideas the day we need to post, the day after, or the day before we need to post. Sometimes it is the day after. Okay, let's be honest. Sometimes it's the day after and we're going, oh, I was supposed to do that. Most of the time, we also tend to put more time. Give me your favorite color in the comments if this is you. You like to design a color-coded plan. Maybe you have lots of fancy planners. Maybe you have a fancy calendar. And then after you're done and all excited about that, the next week or the week after or day after, you fall off the wagon. You spend all the time on your beautiful color-coded calendar, and then you stop using it. Been there, done that. If you're about to tell me your favorite color, I think there's a little delay, but if you're about to tell me your favorite color, yeah, I've totally done it too. And then we spend way too much time thinking about what we're going to share instead of having a system for what we're going to post and what we're going to share with our clients and customers. So I'm going to give you an actual system. Yes. Zitella, Luna, and Pam said, yep, that's me. Jody, Brittany, you're not alone. We're all here for the same reason, and I did it too. So yeah, if you were like, oh yeah, that's me, it's okay. We're going to help you. So this is going to keep you, to keep that from happening, you're going to need a system for coming up with content ideas, a day of the month that you plan all of your content. So I plan all of my content on like the 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, somewhere in there that week. And then you're going to have a day of the month that you are going to create your content. So brainstorming is one day, and the actual creation process is going to be on a separate day. So write that down. You need to separate the brainstorming and the actual doing, writing, taking the photos, recording the videos. We got to separate that stuff. Okay, so on a scale from 1 to 10, in the comments, let me know, how does your current content strategy feel? How is it working for you? Is it easy breezy? You're bringing in tons of clients and customers. You're posting all the time. You're getting lots of engagement. It feels so good. You love showing up. Debbie says, calendar, what's that? And then maybe some of you are at a 1, you've got no ideas, no plan, totally starting from scratch. Yeah, we got a 0, a 1. I'm glad you're here. You're in the right spot. If you guys are posting 0s and 1s or under a 5, you were totally in the right spot. Oh, Thrive's got a 7, but could be better. Haley's at a 2. Colette says not working. Abba says 3, maybe a 7. Kat, good. Okay, I'm gonna chug some water. A lot of talking today. Ooh, Brittany says, I have an easy time creating content for other people, but for my own stuff, ugh. Yeah, doing our own stuff is way harder. All right, so for the next 60 minutes, I'm gonna walk you through my content planning process and help you apply it to your business. Make sure you have something to take notes with, although I think Jonah said at the beginning, you're gonna get a replay, so if you wanna go back through this again, you will have access to that. And then at the end, we're going to answer all your questions and share the options so that I can support you further. If you're like, hey, I like hanging out with Sarah. This was awesome. You can come and hang out in my membership, and I am going to give you guys a discount code at the end. You get a special deal for all of your hard work today. Okay, last thing. If you have 2 seconds, share a screenshot on Instagram. Tag me at @XOSarahMorgan. You can tag Teachable at @Teachable so that we can connect with you after. Give you a little, there's your pose. Okay, so let's get into this. Here is what most people do not realize about creating content that makes it so difficult. Number 1, it is not about doing more. I'm not about to tell you that you have to post every single day or twice a day. You know, some creators I see, I'm like, did you post 3 times today? You don't really need that if you are just trying to get clients and customers. If you want to get a million bajillion followers, sure, post all day long. That might not really help to grow your business though. Number 2, it is not about getting it perfect. Recovering perfectionist. I just went through and I was cleaning out my old content. You don't have to do that. But we're making some adjustments over here. So I was cleaning out my old content and I was like, oh my God, why are there so many food photos? Why are there so many food photos? But it's not about getting it perfect. It's about practicing and showing up, paying attention to your audience, what they're responding to, and making little adjustments. So if you're holding back because you're feeling like, well, I saw this person or that person post, and that looks way better than what I could ever do, so I'm just not going to post this until I figure out how to do that thing or do it better or whatever it is. Start posting, make it awkward. It's okay. Your audience is still going to benefit even if you are feeling uncomfortable. Number 3, it is not about the algorithm. It's about creating a connection with those who match your vibe and need your stuff. So if you are stressing out over the algorithm, I want you to take a step back and remember that Instagram is about fun and connection, and your audience really does want to hear from you if they are already following you. So don't worry about the algorithm so much. And then it's not about, like I said, showing up daily. It's about showing up consistently based on what works for your schedule so that your audience kind of knows Sarah's going to show up a few times this week and I'm going to be able to learn from her, but I'm not going to show up every single day. Okay, so this is the good stuff. We're getting into the content planning matrix. So since we only have about an hour today, I'm going to show you the first part of it. There is a little extension to it, which I'll walk you through, but I'm not going to go super in depth for that part, but this is going to give you a really good basis to get started. So the matrix has 4 boxes. On the left side, you're seeing things that are challenging, what is hard, what is worrying them. And then on the right side, we're going to see the things that are going to feel good. What are they hoping will happen? It's like, think about why you showed up to this workshop. What are you hoping to get out of it? If I could tell you one thing today, what would it be that would make you feel so much better in this moment? That's what we're doing in box number 2. And then box number 4 is the future. What do the good things look like in the future? Maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 9 months or a year, maybe it's 10 years. So think about how far into the future does your audience think and what do they want in that span of time? So I'm going to go through 2 different examples to kind of help you guys apply this to your business. So the first one is marketing with Instagram. So if I'm creating content about marketing with Instagram, which I do very often, in the first box, the green one in the upper left, today's challenges. What is sucking today? What is annoying? What is pissing them off today. So for my audience, it's things like, I have nothing to post, no idea what to post. I'm on Instagram and I'm scrolling, and everybody else makes this look really easy. Why are they having an easy time and I am on the struggle bus? Or I never have time to create content. So you're doing a million things in your business and content is just not happening. It's falling to the side over and over. So those are today immediate challenges. Number two, the box below that, the pink box, is going to be challenges, but in the future. So what happens if they don't get their content plan going, if they don't figure out Instagram, if they don't start feeling confident and comfortable showing up on video? What happens in a year? My audience never grows, just never grows. I don't get any new clients. So I have this amazing business I was so excited about and no one is paying me. And I've been doing this for a year or 5 years and no one is paying. Or I do all this stuff and it turns into a waste of time and money. Nothing works, my content doesn't work, and now I've spent a year or 5 years or 10 years and I just feel like I've got nothing to show for it. That's some tough stuff. But as you're doing this, I want you to think about reading your audience's diary, because that is crappy. That's crappy feeling stuff. And they might not come on Instagram and leave a comment on your post saying, well, today I felt like total garbage and wanted to close down my entire business. They're not going to say that, but you maybe have been there, depending on what your industry is or how you're coaching. And so you can dig into that crappy stuff that like they don't want to say to anybody. They don't want to tell their best friend. They don't want to tell their partner. They're just going to write it in their journal and pretend that it didn't happen. So on the left side, we're doing all the icky, hard, challenging stuff. And then the solutions. What is going to be the opposite? So if they work with you or they hire you or they take your program or they read your ebook, what are some of the solutions that you can give them in the next like 24 hours, maybe it's a week, that's really going to feel good? So if we're talking about marketing on Instagram, maybe it's that someone loved their last post and they sent them a message or a comment and they were like, that was so helpful. Or they're creating and scheduling all of their posts for next week. So now they don't have to do anything but show up maybe once a day. That's what I do. Show up once a day, comment, respond to DMs, check things, and then close down, and they spend the rest of their week on clients, customers, admin stuff, all the behind the scenes stuff. And then maybe they're getting a new client. That is the ultimate goal with your Instagram marketing. So they're getting new clients, regular clients, they're getting people enrolling in their programs. So if they do all the work and they understand what they're going to come out with in the end, what are those big solutions, the big changes that they are going to be rewarded with? And then the bottom right green box is future. So in a year, in 5 years, they're booked out with clients, their program is filled with students, their business is booming. They're working 4 days a week instead of 7. I know some of you are working 7 days a week, 12, 14-hour days. And they're getting engagement and sales from social media consistently. So we got on this one side, it's not working, it's still not working. What the heck is going on? Why am I failing? And on the right side, we're getting all of the solutions and the good things that can come from figuring out that problem. Okay, oops, I'm gonna skip this one. Okay, the other example I have here is for a health coaching business. So same boxes, different challenges. So for a health coaching business, their clients might be feeling tired when they wake up. They slept, they felt like they had a good sleep. They wake up at 8 a.m. and they're still exhausted. Or they run out of energy by 2 p.m. when they've got to go pick up the kids from school, or they got to run errands, or now they have coaching calls. So they're just running out of energy. They have to take pills and deal with side effects from those pills, or maybe they are waiting for test results again because they've been dealing with this same health issue over and over and over. They've been to so many doctors or specialists and they can't figure things out. For the future, what if they're stuck with these health issues for a year, or 5 years, or 10 years? Some of that stuff goes on for a really long time. So they might be thinking, I'm going to be stuck like this forever. I'm going to have these same issues forever, and it is always going to be a challenge. Or health issues are going to hold me back from things that I want to do. I want to go climb a mountain and camp in the wilderness, but I can't because I have to bring like a bucket of meds with me. Or I keep wasting time on small fixes, band aids that just cover up the problem. And then, 6 months later, it's back again. So, what are they looking at? What are they facing in the future if they're not fixing the problems that are in front of them today? And then on the other side, what is the good that comes out of this? They're going to feel less pain. They're going to have more energy. Maybe they're not having to worry about so many medical bills because they figured out some solutions. And in the future, maybe they're able to travel, start a family. Maybe they're able to work or work in a different environment. Maybe they are able to eat pizza for every meal and they could never do that before. That's like a little extreme, but you know what I'm saying? They could have anything, they could eat anything. They're maybe not having to take as many or any medications. So, really thinking about the extreme on these future issues and future goals. Like, really, what could the big changes be and how could that affect their life? I want you to really like get into like sitting on the couch with them in their house. What's going on? Who's there? What are they talking about? What are they stressing about? So this is going to be really, really helpful in identifying the things that your audience needs to hear in order to take the next step to connect with you or hire you or buy from you. Okay. Oops, I'm going to skip that one too. Okay. So as you are, okay, let me go back and let me say one more thing about these boxes. So the way you're going to use this is you can have 4 pages, you can get out your whiteboard, and you're going to just make a cross so that you have 4 boxes, and you're just going to brain dump everything and anything. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be right. So you are just going to go crazy, write everything out, and then we're going to take one topic, so one of these bullet points, and we're going to do the next step. So one bullet point, and we are going to turn it into pieces of content. So we can go at this from many different angles. So if my issue from my audience is I never have time to create content. I get to 5 p.m. every day and I still haven't touched my Instagram or made the video or written the caption, and now I got to push it back again. So we can do this in 4 ways. We can teach. So I can say, here are 5 ways to create more Instagram posts in less time. Or it might be how to spend less time on Instagram but get more followers. The second way is to entertain. So maybe it's me doing like a reel while Hazel, that's my dog, is like being weird in the background and doing something funny. Or sometimes I do like a reminder to take selfies. So on the days that I take a lot of photos for my business, I will show my my album inside my phone of like a million selfies of me being like, over and over again. And so that's kind of like funny to my audience. And I'm always telling them to take more photos of themselves. So I share that in like a funny way. So same thing, I can talk about how I make time to create content, but make it silly and fun. Number 3 is to share. So this is going to be your stories, or it might be your client stories. So how I got over making my content perfect. I can talk about my experience and how getting over that perfection helps me create more content in less time. Or I can talk about how I stopped working nights and weekends. First couple of years of my business, I worked 24/7, all day, all night. I was working a job. I was doing some circus stuff. I don't know why I did an air quote. I did circus stuff on the other side. If you scroll deep into my Instagram, you'll find that stuff. But I can talk about how I stopped working nights and weekends and still had time to create content. And then lastly, you're going to want to use this content to sell your products or services. So I might be sending them into my free Instagram training that will help them figure out how to spend less time creating content. Or I can say, join Dare to Grow, and I have a time tracker inside the membership, which I do, if you want to figure out how to create content in less time. So I'm doing the same topic we've got 8 different ways here, 8 different types of content, and I will create and post all of these. So it's not just doing the one, we're not just doing teach 5 ways to create more Instagram posts. We're going to do every single piece of this puzzle. Okay, so now you might be thinking, if I'm posting 8 pieces of content on one single topic, aren't people going to get bored? Aren't they going to get annoyed? Aren't they going to get tired of hearing about the same thing? And the thing is, repetition is going to be really, really good for your audience. This is how your messaging sticks. Not every person that follows you, even the people that have been following me for years and they follow me on all of the platforms, they listen to my podcast, they're on my email list, they're watching my stories, even they are going to miss some stuff. So by posting the same topic, how to spend less time creating content on Instagram in multiple places, in multiple ways, I'm going to make sure that the majority of my audience, or as many people as possible, are seeing this message. Okay. So now I'm going to give you even more content. Remember, we're just using this one topic. So one bullet point from the matrix. I never have time to create content. And now this is my content plan, my actual content plan. This is the content you will see if you hang out with me online. Podcast, Reels, Instagram carousels, and email. And I do show up on stories as well, but I don't really plan it that much. I like to be spontaneous on stories. So we're still going to take this one piece of content, and now I'm going to do part of it on my podcast, part of it on Reels, part of it as a carousel. So you can see I'm doing 5 ways to create more content on Instagram in less time. So my podcast, because it's going to be longer, I'm going to do all the details. And then it's also going to go, the transcript is going to go on my website as a blog post. So now I've got 2 pieces of content already from this one topic. And then on a reel, I could do the same topic. So if you listen to my podcast, you listen to this episode, the next week, 2 weeks, you're going to see the exact same content as a reel or as a carousel or as an email. So on Reels, I might just do the bullet points on the screen, and in the comment or in the caption, I'll say, go to the podcast for all of the details. I might do a carousel. And so I'm going to take all of those steps, and each step is going to be a graphic. And again, I can send them over to the podcast for all the details. And then my email, I send out every single week, and it will kind of have like a little summary and a link over to the podcast and the blog post. So if they want to listen to it or they want to read it, that's available as well. So as you can see here, I'm still staying with the one piece of content. Okay, Gemma says, what is a reel and a carousel? So those are going to be Instagram content. So a carousel is going to be the slides. So you might have 4 or 5 graphics or videos, and so they'll be able to slide through it. That's your carousel. And then a reel is this, when you're like, do, you know, they're doing all the dances. I don't do dances on carousels, but those are the reels. Dances and pointing and the funny music and the voiceovers, those are your reels. But you can also do a reel as just talking to your audience. So some of my reels are just a minute of me talking through the problem, talking through the steps. So lots of options. If you've never done those before, I do have trainings on those inside of Dare to Grow, along with lots and lots of examples. So if you're like, yes, I want to do this, I don't know how, come hang out with me. I'll totally help you. Okay, math time. I don't love math, but we're going to do it anyway. So in your content matrix, let's say you had 3 bullet points in each of those 4 quadrants. So now you have 12 post ideas. And then times your 4 content types. So that was selling, entertaining, sharing, and what was the last one? There's 4. So that's going to get you 48 post ideas. And then you're going to put them into your platforms. And Melanie said, what if you don't do podcasts? So your platforms could be TikTok, Pinterest, not Pinterest. Pinterest is the search engine. Facebook. It could be that you're going live on Facebook, Facebook groups. So any platform, YouTube videos. You know, what other content platforms are people using? Yeah, teaching. Thank you guys. So in the end, with just putting 3 bullet points in each of those quadrants in the content matrix, you're going to come out with 192 pieces of content. So if you post like twice a year, not twice a year, if you post twice a week, this will fill your entire year. So I know we talked about doing 1 month of content, but y'all, if you really sit down and spend a couple of hours on this, you can have all of your content for the entire year planned out. Let me know in the comments if that sounds like a good plan, and I'm gonna chug some water. Okay, oh, yep, my dog's gonna yell at the people in the hallway. All right. There she is. Pam says, heck yes. Yeah, I'm so excited for you guys. Okay, Hazy. Shh, shh, shh. The perils of working from home. Sometimes Hazel howls really loudly just to yell at whoever's outside. Hopefully that won't happen. Okay, so this next part, I'm gonna show you the extended matrix. I don't wanna keep you guys here for hours. It wouldn't take hours, but we're gonna go through this really, really fast, but this is gonna go into Dare to Grow in the next week probably. So if you are like, ooh, I like this next part, that whole thing will be inside of Dare to Grow. So you'll be able to go through it in a little more depth, but we're gonna speed through it today because I wanna show you the inside of my Airtable. That is gonna blow your mind. So I gotta make sure we have time for that. So the extended matrix is gonna help you figure out where to post your content. So does this go into my YouTube? Does it go into my podcast? Is it an email? Is it a blog post? Is it an IG post? Is it a video? Is it a carousel? Million options. So this is gonna help you out a little bit. So as you can see, I put divider lines on all of the matrix boxes because you actually can kind of do two things. You wanna be coming up with business related stories and challenges. And then you also want to come up with your personal stories or your client stories. So you could divide this box in, oh, Hazel, if you can hear her barking, she's in the bedroom on the bed barking at herself in the mirror. Yeah, she's just having a little chat in there because I'm not entertaining her. So you can come up with business stories and personal stories. So this would be for things like, I don't have time to create content. Business related would be, how me showing up consistently helped my audience find me more often and brought in more customers or clients. I could also use I don't have enough time to create content and talk about it on the personal side. So I worked 12, 14-hour days through my weekends for the first couple years of my business because I was creating so much content. It took up my whole day. So that's a personal story about how I struggled with doing content myself, which is why I went bananas and learned all of this and figured all of this out because I was like, we do not need to be spending that much time on it. Okay. Jeba says, do you use IFFFP to post with one click to several platforms? I don't. I post things separately. So I'm not taking one piece of content and using like an app or something to turn it into other pieces of content. I am making them separately. So I make a script for my blog post, but I'm taking the same information from that. So I'll take like the headings or the bullet points, and I will make that into a caption or an email. So that is one thing. It does save time, but I like to, even if it's really the same content, I like to adjust it a little bit so that it fits that platform and like what my audience is looking for on that specific platform. Because people on YouTube are looking for something slightly different than people on Instagram. Instagram is really fast, really quick. You're going to get a ton of information. YouTube might be a little bit more in depth. Podcasts are a little bit more in depth, but maybe people really learn better from audio. So yeah, I like to put a little bit more time instead of just kind of having a platform that or an app that does the content for me. I hope that helped. Okay, so extended matrix, we're going to divide it into biz related and personal or client stories. And then you are going to organize your content into audience categories. So people in your audience are going to be in 3 different boxes. They're going to be either brand new, they don't really know who you are, maybe they found you in a Facebook group, maybe they found you on Yelp, maybe they just Googled, and so they're brand new to you and your stuff. They don't trust you that yet, they don't have a connection with you, so you got to do a little bit of work to show them who you are and what you do. In the middle, you have a warm audience. So this is people that have been hanging out with you for a while. They probably know about you and what you share. Maybe they've learned a few things from you. Maybe they know about your services or your products or your programs. Maybe they don't, or maybe they kind of have like a slight idea. Like, I know Sarah has a membership, but I don't really know what the deal is with it. And then your hot audience, they know all about you. They know all of your inside jokes. So my audience knows, the hot audience, they know about Hazel. They see Hazel all the time. They know that I have an obsession, like a Carol Baskin level obsession with leopard print. It's everywhere. I don't know how I'm not wearing it today, but I do have it tattooed on my arm like a little weirdo. So they know weird things like that. They know that I love the show Schitt's Creek, and that gifts of Schitt's Creek are going to be in all of my emails and my landing pages. So those people are going to need to hear different things to get into your programs, your courses, your services, than people who are in your cold audience who have no clue. You have to say different things to different audiences. So this is going to help you put all of those topics that you've created into these buckets. And then once you know what your audience needs to hear, those boxes go into specific places in your content strategy. So some of the people are going to hear things on Reels. Some of them are going to be listening to the podcast. My warm audience and my hot audience listens to the podcast a lot. So that's where I'm giving a lot of detail and a lot of information so that they'll connect with me a little bit more. And then also emails. Hot audience definitely needs to get some emails more than your cold audience. So this is going to help you. And like I said before, your platforms might be different. So you don't need to do Instagram and podcast and emails. You should probably do emails, but it might be that you're on TikTok and that you have a YouTube channel, or that you just do Instagram and emails. So you don't need to have the exact same platforms, but you do need to have a process. All right. So if you guys have questions about this, leave them in the chat and we'll answer them at the end. But like I said, there's going to be in the next week or so an extended explanation of this inside of Dare to Grow. So if you're kind of thinking about joining, that will be in there, and I will explain all of this and how you actually flow your content. Okay, so if you do not know what to share, you're like, yes, Sarah, I got it. I'm going to have the platforms. I'm going to have the process. I'm going to do the matrix, but I don't know what my audience needs to hear. So here's how you're going to do it. You're going to send a survey to your audience. You can do this with a Google form. Airtable has forms. I'm going to show you Airtable in a minute. Type form, and you're going to ask them 3 questions. You do not need to send a 20-question survey. So we're going to say, what is your biggest challenge right now? What are you working on this month? Or maybe it's 6 months or a year. You can kind of adjust that. And then what is your number 1 goal? What do they want to accomplish? So asking these questions is going to be very helpful. You can use polls on Instagram. If you are just getting started and you've only had like 2 clients, get them on a call, get in front of them and ask them these questions, because then you can use those answers to fill in your content matrix. And also there is a branding lab inside of Dare to Grow. So if you need more help, we do a whole brand story in there, and it will teach you how to take survey results or answers from your clients and customers and put it into a brand story so that you can actually figure out what your audience needs to hear. So systems for everything over here. Okay, now we're going to use Airtable. So Jonah, I think you're going to switch me over to Airtable. Yes. Y'all. I get excited about the content planning, but this is like, it's so good. Okay, so this is Airtable. Let me drink some water. Okay, an Airtable is a collection of databases. So WordPress is a database. You put lots and lots of information into it, and it's all nice and organized so that you can go back and find things. So as you can see, I went bananas in Airtable. I have bases for everything, but we're going to look at the content calendar. And this is my actual Airtable, my actual content calendar. And so this is what it looks like. So when you first open, let me do this first. Let me create a brand new one so you can see this is what you're going to get. So you're essentially getting a blank table. Underneath this, you're going to see a bunch of different things. So like I said, you can create a form in here. You can create a calendar. You can create a gallery. So if you have lots of images, you can use a gallery. Kanban, this is like Trello. So if you are, I don't have anything in here, so I won't be able to show you, but if you like seeing things in columns and in boards, you can turn it into a Kanban, and then they've got some timeline views as well. So that's what you see when you open it. After you get it all set up, it's going to look like this. So grid view. I'm going to open one of these up. So this is the difference between a spreadsheet and a database. And it's this little arrow right here where it says expand record. This is the best. So I have an individual record for each line in my table, and I've added all of these things. So I have the topic, so I can have posts about my story, like we talked about, personal stories. I can talk about list building, productivity. So whatever your main, sometimes people call them like content boxes, whatever the main topics that you talk about, you can put in here so that you're like, okay, I know that I need to talk more about list building. I'm going to go and I'm going to find just the list building post. So it allows you to organize and create views of content a little bit easier. Under here, I have content type. So if this was a podcast, if it's going to be an email, this helps me organize a little bit. The color coding is the only thing I pay for. So if you're just starting, you can use the free version of Airtable. That's totally fine. This is what I pay to use. And like I said at the beginning, color coding is probably going to be a waste of your time, but I like to see this, so I'll show you my calendar and why I like the color coding, but you can do it without. This is like extra nerd points. Under here, I have status, so I can repost, republish, or publish, and then I have upcoming content. There's a date, notes. So this is where I usually write out my captions, or if I'm going to do a podcast episode, I'll type out a bunch of bullet points. And then when we have graphics, we just attach them here. So the nice thing about this is that it makes it really easy to go and find things. So right now I can find, let's see what it's sorted by. I think it's sorted by status right now. So if I scroll down, these are all of my random ideas. This is what happens after you get going. Okay, now we're getting into the stuff that's already been posted. So as you can see, all of this content I can share again. So how to publish more content without actually creating anything new. That went out as a podcast, but I could repost this as a blog post, as an Instagram post. I could do a TikTok video. So all of these I know did really well the first time I shared them. They got lots of engagement, lots of likes, lots of shares, comments. And then I'm going in here and I'm clicking this to say, okay, it was published, but now we're going to do a repost because I know that my audience is really into this content. And this is a couple of years, but look at how many posts I have in there. That would be like 3 months of content that I could just take from Airtable, schedule in my post scheduler, and not have to make any content. So this is really helpful for when you want to take a break or go on vacation, or you get sick or your kids get sick or some sort of life thing happens and now you can't create your content. You can go back into here, find all of the stuff that already worked and load up your content calendar that way so you can keep showing up without making more stuff. Bonus tip. So as you can see, everything in here is published, everything's coordinated. I can find, if I want to just see all the podcast ideas or all the podcast episodes that have already been published, those are in there. So this is the other part that makes Airtable really, really, really helpful, is that I'm not just seeing like the spreadsheet version, I can turn this into a calendar. So this is how you are going to make content really fast, or make a content plan really fast. So I talked about before where you want to have separate days for the days you're doing things. So you're going to have one day where you're doing the content matrix and you're planning all of your ideas. What is possible for me to talk about or post about? Just brainstorming. And then I have a different day, which is at the beginning of the month or at the end of the previous month, where I'm going to take all of those ideas and put them into this calendar, which I'm going to show you how I do that really, really fast. And then after, usually I do this once a week, but it could be a monthly task as well, where you are going to sit down and you're going to write the captions, you're going to make the videos, you're going to record the podcast episodes, and you're going to do the actual doing part of making the content. So it's 3 separate days: brainstorm, plan, and then create. Okay, so we're going to skip forward. I'm just going to double check. Do we have any? Okay. Okay, so we're going to answer your questions at the end because I see a bunch of them coming in. So I'm going to get through this part and then we'll do questions. So I'm going to scoot forward. Let's find an empty day. So you are going to end up with this. If you come over here, it says kind of small, but on the side it says see records. So I have 173 unscheduled records. That means that these are all my post ideas. Post ideas, post ideas, post ideas, which means because I've been brainstorming and putting things in here for a very long time, I don't have to do the brainstorming part anymore, which is the best. Okay, so the other part, so I talked about color coding. This is why I pay for the color coding. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but you can use the free version. If you're like, girl, I don't need that. You can use the free version. You could test everything out. But this is how I do it. So I know that podcasts are yellow because they're all color coordinated. And I know that I do podcasts on Thursday. Oh, actually, let me say one more thing. Let's say in June, I'm going to do a workshop. Maybe I have another Teachable workshop. So I'm going to put that workshop in first. Okay, so workshop promo needs to go here. And then let's say, okay, the day or the week before, maybe on Tuesday, I'm going to do another promo. So you're going to put in any events or anything like that that needs to have its specific space. Like I need to promote this on a specific day, or I need to share this on a specific day. So those go in first so that you know what spaces are already filled. And then I'm going to go, okay, podcast, let's do this one and this one. Now, if I'm doing the content planning workshop again, I might make sure that these are related to content planning. So I might go into my first quadrant, which is what sucks for my clients and customers today. What are they struggling on right now? And then that podcast on the 9th or on the 2nd, the week before, is going to be about that topic. So maybe it is about why you don't need to spend so much time planning content, or how to spend less time planning content. So I'll give them a little taste, and then that will promote the workshop. So that's the only time that I am a little bit more specific with what I'm talking about. But because I know that I started with the matrix and I made sure that all of the stuff, all of the topics that I came up with are related to what my audience needs to hear in order to hire me or work with me, then I don't need to be so picky about when I'm saying things or when I'm promoting things. I know that all of this stuff is going to be really helpful for my audience. It's going to help them take action and move toward me, come into my circle. So all I'm doing is going, okay, there's a podcast, and let's see, there's another podcast. Boom, podcast planned for June. I might just leave these in here. This might be my plan. I'm going to look after I plan everything. I'm going to go through and just make sure that, I'm not, doing anything weird, or, stacking too many Instagram related pieces of content. I want to kind of talk a little bit about email and a little bit about Instagram and a little bit about systems. So I kind of flow in between all of the things that I cover in depth in the membership. But I'm going to just kind of double check, but this is 100% the way that I plan. So let's see, I know that, let's see, what is this? This is going to be an IG feed post. So all these like aqua colors are IG feed posts. So let's say I know that this is also going to be in my Instagram. I'm going to make an email and either a carousel or a reel. So I'm not going to put any more feed posts on this day, but on Mondays, I can do lots of feed posts. So we can talk about this. We can talk about not being perfect. We can talk about holding back. So I literally just drag things in. And then let's see, I'm going to look and see what other content types I have over here. So we also have, I've got emails. Emails. Those might be more promos. Let's do, Reels and TikToks. That's what I'm missing. Okay, so a feed post is probably going to be a carousel or a photo or a longer video. And then these, all the pink ones, are Reels. So maybe on Saturday, I'm going to post my Reels. And that's how we do it. We just drag it over, before and after, one more. How to show your personality. There we go. Bam. A month of content. How long did that take me? Did anybody time? It was like 5 minutes. You can do this. So this is the reason that this calendar works, because you've already done the content matrix. So we already know what is going to be helpful for our audience, what they need to hear. And I don't have to sit here and go, okay, on the 6th, what do I need to tell my audience? Do I want to talk about email? Do I want to talk about productivity? Do I want to talk about mindset? I don't have to do any of that, like spinning my wheels and doing a crazy brainstorm. So, the other part of this and the way that I fill this in is I have a notes app on my phone. And so, anytime I'm reading, I'm on a coaching call, I take notes, they're all in my phone. And that means that, like, once a month, I can take all of those ideas and I drop them into my Airtable grid. So once they're in the grid, and if they do not have a published date on them, they will show up over here. As soon as I drag it in and put it into the 30th, it is going to add the published date. And then if I'm like, actually, I'm going to save that one, it removes the published date. So that's the other thing that is really helpful. There's less like little things that you have to put in or do or add. You just drag shit into your calendar and now you have a month of content. So tell me in the chat if you think, no, tell me in the chat if you are going to make yourself an Airtable account, go over there and check this out. Okay. So I'm going to go back. Jonah, I'll let you go back to my slides. I'm not. Oh, thank you. All right. Okay, I see all your questions coming in, so we're going to answer those in just a moment. Okay, so tell me in the chat, scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your ability to plan content now? Feeling better? Feeling like this might work? Still feeling like you're on the struggle bus? That's okay. This stuff takes a minute to figure out. If you have to go through the training again and go through it slower, you're going to get it. Let me know. Oh, Mark says 11. I feel like I won. I did it. Yes, 9, 8. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited. Oh, Pam says she's already got Airtable. She's going to use the calendar now. Awesome. So I do have this template. You guys can set this up on your own. You totally can. You kind of figure out what you need to put into that box. So do you need to know the date? Do you need to know the type of content? Do you need to know if you're talking about a specific topic? You can add all of those boxes at the top on your own, but I do have a template inside of Dare to Grow. So if you're like, I'll just take yours, it's in there and you can totally use it. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, so there's a couple of questions about using scheduling software. So I do all of my planning and creation in Airtable. So I'm going to write the captions for my podcast because they're really, really long. And I just do more editing on those. I actually have those in a Google Doc, but if I write a caption for the podcast, that is going to go into Airtable. So once I have my plan done, and then I'm going to create all my content. So I'm going to upload my graphics into Airtable, just so that I have a database full of that stuff. So if I make a post today, in 6 months or a year, I can go back and I or my assistant can grab all of that content really easily and go and post it. So I will okay, let's see. So I do brainstorming and then I do brainstorming, plan, create all my content. And then number 4 is I'm going to take that post when it's ready to go. And I use Planoly for my scheduler, but there's lots of options. They're all really good. And I'm going to then schedule it. So scheduling is like a once a week thing where I'm going to create all my captions. I'm going to do all my videos. And then I am going to go into Planoly and schedule everything. So you can store your images inside of Airtable. You can put videos in there. You can put PDFs in there. So that is really, really helpful so that I'm not having like, okay, all of my captions are in Google and all of my plan is in Airtable and all of my graphics are in Dropbox. Now you can put all of that stuff into one spot, which is really helpful if you are working with a social media manager or an assistant. Then you don't have to go and say, okay, that one post is here and here and here. They can just go, they can search for it. They can search by date. They can search by the topic. They can search by the type of content, if it's a reel or a carousel or a podcast. It makes it a lot easier to find and repurpose your stuff. Yes. Okay, so if you guys want more stuff on Airtable, there is a full training. I do want to keep you here all day, but I'm not going to. But there are full trainings inside of Dare to Grow if you want more in-depth stuff. Okay, so now you know how to choose topics that are going to attract your ideal customers and clients. You're going to create a ton of content ideas really fast. And then you're going to set up your easy peasy content planning system in Airtable. I'm so excited for you guys. And after that, it's all about setting a schedule, sticking to your plan, and showing up, doing the work, which I know is a whole other, that could be a whole other workshop. So if you want some support and accountability, if you want some more in-depth training, if you're like, I don't really get it, can you help me? I totally can. And that is inside of Dare to Grow. So I have a membership that has everything you need to grow and market your business online in one spot. So you're not having to constantly Google things or join multiple programs and multiple courses that you maybe will not finish. I know I do too. So if you are ready to spend less time Googling, scrolling Pinterest, scrolling interest, scrolling Instagram, if you're tired of stressing over all the stuff you need to do, you should have done, the other people that you're watching are doing, and you're like, why can't I get it together and do all of this too? It's a lot. Instead, I want you to spend more time on the stuff that actually moves the needle. So here are just some not even testimonials, they're just comments in the Facebook group from our members. Amanda said, on Tuesday's call, I said I would start posting to Instagram 3 times a week. So I just posted Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I have 3 posts ready for next week too. Haley has her first employee. She showed her how to use Asana. There is a training for Asana inside of Dare to Grow, and she is going to help me write descriptions for podcast episodes. And Bianca said, I've written all of my emails for the upcoming launch. 4 education emails and 6 emails for the selling sequence. That stuff is in Dare to Grow as well. I really tried to make sure that anything that you needed to market and grow your business is in this program. So we talk about list building. If you want to do a webinar like this, which I love, it's very helpful to grow your email list. It will allow you to partner with other people and other companies. So there is a full training on doing a webinar like this with slides, with templates, with the exact emails, what days to send them, what intervals to put between your emails. All of the stuff is in there. We also have an Instagram lab, branding lab. I talked about that before. If you are needing help with your messaging or how you're talking to your customers and talking about your business or your services, that is inside of Dare to Grow. We also have a full content lab that is about to get some updates. Like I said, that extended content matrix is going to be inside the content lab this week. We have a systems lab. So I am obsessed with productivity and efficiency because I don't want to spend my entire day here. This is really fun. I love doing it, but I also would like to go out and do stuff and take my weekends off and take my nights off. And so Systems Lab is really going to help you simplify all of your strategies and automate a lot of the stuff in your business. We also have the Confidence Lab, which is full of pep talks and mindset stuff, so that when imposter syndrome or perfectionism shows up, or you just spent too much time scrolling on Instagram and now you feel terrible about yourself and your business, Confidence Lab is here to help you. And then I also added a social media lab, and there's a full TikTok training in there. So if you're like, I think TikTok is my vibe, full training, examples, everything is in there to help you dive into that. So you also get in the membership 3 calls a month. We do a goal setting and planning call at the beginning of the month so that everybody is kind of getting re-energized and motivated to do the work. And then we also have 2 coaching calls that I host every month, usually on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific or 4 p.m. Pacific. And there are always recordings so that you can go through later or submit your questions early if you're not able to make it live. And then we have an amazing Facebook group that is really supportive. And our group is small, so there's not thousands of people or hundreds of people in this program. So I will get to look at your stuff, answer your questions, and help you move forward. All right, so you also have 2 extra bonuses. One is a 30-day stories challenge. So you can go through that and it will tell you literally exactly what to share on stories with examples and scripts. So all you have to do is follow the instructions and then show up. And then also I'm sharing all the details on my top 20 Instagram posts. I think they're from the past year or 2 years, and kind of the details of what is included in those, so you can see the types of content that really do bring in engagement and views and comments and DMs and customers and clients. So, Dare to Grow is for you if, number one, you are an online business owner. If you have a brick and mortar shop, you're welcome to hang out with us. The examples probably will not apply as much to your stuff. So, if you run an online program, you've got online services, you're doing ebooks or courses, and you're making under 5K a month, that's usually the spot where our members are at. Number two, you are sick and tired of being stressed. I feel ya. You've been doing too many things and you know you need to be better at focusing on the important stuff and really sticking to your schedule. If you are over excuses, if you are over letting fear and imposter syndrome hold you back, I am pretty good about getting people to do video and liking it once they finally do it. So if that's you, should absolutely come hang out with me. And lastly, if you are ready to show up for your audience, grow your email list, and turn more of your subscribers and followers into customers and clients, we would all like that. So here is the special deal just for this workshop. I think it's available. Jonah can let me know. I think it's available for a week. Usually this is a monthly, we do a monthly membership, but you can do 3 months for 215. No, it's 251. I'm so sorry. 251. That is backwards. But yeah, you're going to get a 3-month deal to come hang out and try the membership just for watching this workshop. And you get access to everything. So if you've been thinking about joining, if you're like, maybe this is a good idea, come in, try it out. I think there's a 30-day money back guarantee. So you can see if it's the right fit for you, but you get coaching calls, the Instagram bonus, access to all of the labs and all of the trainings. And if you come in here and you're like, you know what, Sarah, I really don't understand how reels work, or I really could use some more examples for this, all you have to do is post in the Facebook group and I will make things for you, because everything that goes into the program is going to benefit the whole group and people in the future. So you can always ask me to make extra trainings and I am happy to do that for you. And then we have our amazing, super supportive Facebook group. If I'm not there, if you're posting overnight, somebody will always show up and help you and encourage you. They're amazing. So if you're looking for some business support, some buddies, some people to collaborate with, you can do that inside of the group. And then you're also getting my top 20 Instagram posts as a bonus. So Deanna she was a member and she said, I am really grateful for this space and so happy I joined. I can't wait for our next call and to continue encouraging everyone and receiving the kind of support I have been looking for a while now. That is my favorite. Melody created and launched her sales page. Tamara, this was the best. I think we did our goal setting call at the beginning of the month. We set a revenue goal on that call. And she said, I set my revenue goal during the call and just got booked for a coaching session and made half. And that was like an hour or so after she did that. So that's the kind of stuff that is happening inside of the group. If that feels good to you, I hope you will come hang out with us. There's the correct price. It's $251 and you'll get access for 3 months. All right, let's do some questions. Do we have time for questions for a few minutes, Jonah?
We do indeed. And so we had a couple questions that came in during the presentation. For everyone watching, please hop in the comments and let us know if you have any more questions. Sarah, I love this already. I got to be honest, like a week ago, I was kind of pissed we were in Airtable because right off the bat, it can look so intimidating. But
Yeah.
but there's so much functionality, and I also think if we all scream loud enough, they'll probably integrate scheduling functions soon as well.
I want a
But
repeating task. Oh, that would be so good.
I know, yeah. And I know it's also changed a lot in the last year, so it's also nice to be part of a platform that is regularly listening and
Yeah.
trying to make it better for creators.
Yeah, they
Um,
just added the calendar function on the app, which was not available when
nice.
I first did it. So, yeah.
Okay. So they're working hard. They're trying to keep it going. So while we just let's dive into questions right away. I thought we had some wonderful questions just about why Airtable. I know you did a pretty
Yeah.
good job, but Mark was asking specifically like Notion versus Airtable.
Mm,
Have you used Notion at all? Can you comment on that?
yeah, I haven't used it, but I know it's very similar. So my main thing with Airtable is that I can put all of the information. So I can put graphics in there. I can put dates in there, and it has the calendar function. So anything that has kind of the database plus the calendar will totally work. If you want to use Notion, absolutely. The only thing I would say, some people ask me about Asana or something like ClickFunnels versus Airtable, that's going to be a little bit separate. So again, Airtable is more of a database where it's going to collect all of your information, and then Asana or something like that is going to be more for like daily to-do lists. So
Mm,
Asana is where I put my monthly repeating task where I'm going to create my plan for the month. And then it's got a weekly repeating task where I'm going to actually create the content week after week. So yeah, I use those separately. But if you are in Notion and you've got things set up in there, you can totally use that. Yeah, you don't have to use the platform. But if
right,
you don't have one, just try Airtable. That is
right,
my encouragement for you today. Give it a shot. See how it works. I know when you open it, it's like there's no instructions, but they do
right.
have some templates in there. So if you're getting stuck when you go to create a new Airtable, it will give you the option to pick a template. So you can do that and just kind of like browse and see how things work.
And back to the course for a second. You did say you include Airtable templates in there for people, right?
Yep, you can have my template.
Awesome.
It's in there. And if you're like, Sarah, I saw, because you saw my whole Airtable dashboard, I was like, okay, I'll just use this for content planning. And then I got into Airtable and kind of figured it out. And I was like, oh, now we need 500 different, they're called bases, all the little separate ones. So I have like content planning one. I have one for planning like my year and all the webinars and promotions we're doing. Yeah, so my template is inside of Dare to Grow, but if you go into Airtable, they do have a whole bunch of templates in there. So that will kind of help you see how different people use it.
Right. And just to call out for everybody too, the links to the course, they're in the description and pinned to the top in the comments, and they'll be emailed to you along with the replay. And yes, that discount is only there for a week, so you can think about it a little bit, but hop on it while you can. Let's we got to wrap up shortly here, but let's get through as many questions as we can. Lisa was saying, how are those quadrants from the matrix identified in Airtable?
So you're essentially going to take the quadrants, and that ends up just being a whole long list. So once you got your list in there, you can decide what type of content it's going to be. So it's going to be entertaining, teaching, selling, stories, sharing, or it's going to be, or sorry, then it's going to also be divided by your content platforms. So podcasts, emails, blog posts, Instagram. So you're not actually, once the quadrants are more for helping you kind of identify the specific things to talk about. But once you have that list, you can just dump the whole thing into Airtable. It doesn't have to be
Hmm,
quadrants in Airtable. So that was a good question. Thank you, Lisa.
nice. And then another question here. Hey, Sarah, why not later? Why Planoly? Just curious if I need to switch. I know there's so much information and everyone's trying to get you to use their scheduling app. But why did you choose Planoly?
Just because. So scheduling apps at
Yeah.
this point we've been doing like social media for so long, they're all really good. So if you're using later, that's totally fine. I'm not going to make you switch to my system just because I like that system. I'm a web designer, so often I pick things because they look cute and I like the
Planoly is
interface.
adorable. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you're using later, that's a great platform. I know that Planoly just added, or they're about to add the functionality to auto post carousels,
Nice.
which was not available before. So I don't know if later has that as well. So that's the only thing. But you know what? If Planoly has that right now, next week, later is going to have that functionality too. So, you
Right.
don't have to completely jump ship every time. Later is an awesome platform. So, two thumbs up. You can use it.
Right. Right. And I think it's probably important too not to get hung up like what scheduling app should I use, right? That's not important. You should be
Yeah.
putting stuff out. Yeah. Um, I did just want to call out quick, just in the middle. Zitella Luna was saying, made an account on it.
Yeah.
I saw a few of those. Everyone's diving in. And Magda just said too, you can post to Twitter and Facebook
Ooh,
using automations in Airtable. So that's something I've heard too, is that Airtable has a lot of backend
they
Zapier.
do.
Yes.
So, yeah,
That might be
Zapier is kind of the in between. So, if you have an email list and you have Airtable, you can use Zapier to connect them. So, things that don't automatically connect, there's not like an integration for that platform, you can connect a lot of things with Zapier. And yeah, Airtable has a ton of extra functionality. This is like the most basic, like using just the tools that you like can obviously see on the screen. But yeah, there's lots of like very nerdy functions and formulas and stuff that you can get into. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Now I have to go and do research.
I love that. Uh, Magda had a kind of follow-up question. We got 2 more here we have time for, but,
Yeah, awesome.
Magda was
Oh,
curious about the Emmy you won.
I wish I had it. It's in my parents' house, in up in a closet. I do have an Emmy. It is a so what my corporate job was working at a news station, and so they have like broadcast journalism Emmys, and there is a digital, like a digital media Emmy, and so that is what I won like 10 years ago, something like that. Yeah, or it
Ah,
would be more than 10 years ago. Yeah, because I was at my corporate job. Yeah, literally have the big, really heavy gold statue with my name on it. It's the weirdest accomplishment.
yeah, that's so cool. We got one more question, and right before, I just wanted to thank you for your time and your expertise and
Yeah.
for laying everything out so clearly. For everyone who's here and watching, hop at the comments. Thanks, Sarah, for her time. Go check out the course page. You can look at it, explore a little more what it's about before you dive into it. But again, the discount is only there for a week. And Sarah, can you just call? I know your handle's there, but where's the best place for people to find
Yeah, I
you
actually
or
have one
where?
more slide if you don't mind popping
Oh,
my slides
not
up there.
not at
I
all.
have bonus, surprise, and slides. So there's your offer. You can come hang out with me for 3 months. If you have any questions, you can DM me. Let's see. There we go. So feel free to DM me. If you're like, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, it's going to be a good fit, send me a DM. I'm very happy to chat with you. But I'm also going to give you a free gift for hanging out with me today. All you have to do is DM me the word bingo at XO Sarah Morgan, and I will send you our bingo card. So this is how we do accountability in Dare to Grow, because I like to make things fun. If I give you another worksheet, you're just gonna like fill it out and then it'll disappear, right? So bingo, you're gonna put it up on your like wall. You have a little cork board, and this is gonna help you make sure that you're taking actions every week that are helping you show up consistently and connect with your audience. So you can get your bingo card. Just DM me the word bingo over on Instagram, and I will send it to you. All right, that's my spiel.
Ah, that's so fun. I love that. Healthy bingo, right? It's where
Yeah.
and the last thing before we wrap up, just everyone, if you had a good time here, please like and subscribe to the Spotlight channel. Consistently trying to bring folks like Sarah out here. And I did want to end on this note because I thought there was one more question that was so good. Um, Brittany was asking, and this is something I've struggled with
Yeah.
myself, and lots of people work in the social media field, but when it comes to doing your own social media, it just like all falls apart. So specifically, Brittany said, I have an easy time creating content for other people and planning for their strategy, but my own stuff doesn't work. Do you have any
I do the
advice on
same
this?
thing, Brittany.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I work with clients and the students in my membership, and anytime I get to do their content, it is so much fun. And then doing my own, I'm like, why? Why is this so hard? Like, I've been doing this for 10 years. Why is this so hard? So the content matrix will really help, because it does take a lot of that, like personal, like the judgment that comes up. And, can I really talk about that? Will they believe me? Do I know what I'm doing? Am I really like all of that garbage stuff comes up. So number one, inside of Dare to Grow, there is the Confidence Lab, and it is full of literal pep talks. They're
Hmm.
all audio pep talks, and it's just me being like, you can do it. And we talk about very specific things like imposter syndrome, jealousy, not feeling like an expert. So all of that stuff is in there if you want to come hang out with us. And judging by I think you had blue hair in that photo, you'd be a good fit. Um, but the thing is that you really need to focus on your people.
Hmm.
So the way that I show up, yes, I have makeup on. I washed my hair today. I didn't sleep in this shirt, but most days I'm in my pajamas. My hair's crazy, no makeup. I'm just showing up as I am, because I know that the information and the value that I provide is more important than the little details. Like nobody
Hmm.
cared. Like, I of course was like, oh, my hair's so cute, but somebody's gonna watch this and be like, oh, so you're never gonna please everybody anyway. So one thing I like to do is I go on Instagram and I either scroll through the views on my stories and look at all of the beautiful faces, or I scroll through the comments, or I scroll through my followers. And I just
Mm,
remind myself that all of these people are following me. They followed me because they want help. They saw something that I shared that they were like, oh, I need this. I need more of this. So if someone is already following you, they're on your email list, they subscribe to your YouTube channel, you now need to talk to them, even if it's
mm,
only two people. The first time I went live and did a workshop, two people showed up, and it was so awkward, and I felt I had to like constantly be talking, and I was so sweaty. I literally found the Instagram as I was digging through my own page the other day of me like posting that it was so scary and hard, but I did it anyway, and only two people showed up. But that was awesome. That was the start. So if you only have 5, 10, 100 people following you, focus on those people,
mm.
because everyone else that comes into your orbit is really going to benefit. And practice showing up looking like crap. That'll
Right.
help you get over it really fast. Tomorrow
Well,
morning, I want y'all to go on stories and give your audience one tip. It can literally take you 10 seconds. Hey, I did this recently. It was really helpful. Here's what I did. Let me know if you try it. That's
mm,
it. 10, 15 seconds, no makeup. I know you guys, the dudes in this are going to be like, I just show up however. But I know as women, we really get hung up on that stuff, especially when everybody else is wearing filters. So I try to do no makeup and no filters a little bit on my platform to inspire you guys. But you can do it. You are experts and you have the information. So if you want a business and you want to be paid for it, you have to show up, period.
love
That's
it.
the deal.
Love it. And I know I said last question, but this one we need to get to. What is the name of your podcast?
It's the Dare to Grow Show. The
Love
Dare
it.
to Grow Show.
Love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Well, it's Sarah, thank you so much for your time and your expertise and just your whole personality and everything is a joy. It's been so fun hosting you. And everyone watching, thank you for being here too. Please check out Sarah on all her platforms and go check out the course. Sarah, it's been a wonderful day. I hope we see you again.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here. Later,
Thank
everybody.
you. Have a great day, everybody.